Hello, Miami. You're watching 305 Sports Now, your home podcast and channel for all things Miami sports related. I am Will.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me.
Good afternoon. Hope you guys are enjoying your Monday. Once again, I am Will, your host of 305 Sports Now. Thank you so much for watching and listening as well. I just got to say one thing, all right? The spring game has wrapped up. The much anticipated spring game has wrapped up, and the Miami Hurricanes did not disappoint. The white team wins by a score of 30-14, and I must say it was impressive being there. For first things foremost, I just want to say my day started out with Into the Caneverse over at Canesware with the gentlemen of Uverse and also other podcasters such as Lex, Flo, Cafecito, Alex Dono, and if I'm missing anybody, forgive me, etc., 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 etc. Great time. If they do it again the following year, I recommend you go. We chopped it up with listeners as well, amongst with each other. It was basically one big Canes family. And of course, you can always shop at Canesware where they have the best Canes gear in the country, bar none, right? So that's a little bit of what I wanted to tell you. Now, as far as the spring game goes, okay, it was located this year at Cobb Stadium. It had been formerly at Drive Pink Stadium a couple years before, now known as Chase Stadium. And I will say that it was a pretty solid atmosphere for being about maybe 1,500 people that had attended. And the star of the show was Cam Ward. Cam Ward was absolutely amazing. If you look at what ESPN was saying, he threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was very effective. He had great command of the offense. He actually led the opening drive with a touchdown against the first team defense. Okay, he was absolutely just carving him up and so on as well early on in the game. Defense did get some stops later on in the game. I was impressed with defense. I'll get into defense in a minute. But I want to make main focus of the offense as well. Poffenbarger came out there as well. And I will say if I was to rank from what I saw in the spring game, okay, Reese Poffenbarger would be QB4. I don't see practice all the time. I don't have a film of practice. I can only tell you what I see online and so on. But I do believe that Jacurri Brown made a case in the spring game for being the second quarterback. Go with him or Emory Williams. Both of them had pretty good solid spring games. But Jacurri Brown had a very good spring game, leading his team, opening drive, touchdown as well. A beautiful pass to Jackson Carver, giving him a chance to catch that football. Jackson Carver, the stud tight end, okay, catches the football. Jacurri threw the ball off his back foot. You got to give credit where credit is due. All right, Jacurri Brown did effectively lead the offense, ran when he had to run, etc. Emory Williams was really good as well, right? Emory Williams also led a scoring drive as well that I believe was a touchdown pass to Ray Joseph. I don't remember very well, but I know the first touchdown pass by Cam Ward was to Zay Horton, who really was a standout in the spring game today. Xavier Streppel. The opening drive with Cam Ward, he caught that football, broke a tackle, and put Cam in a position where he could work in the red zone. And it worked because he was able to get Zay Horton a touchdown on a drag route as well. Again, Emory Williams played very well as well. He had a touchdown pass that he threw himself. Jacurri Brown also threw a touchdown pass as well. Cam Ward had 3 touchdown passes. I was very happy to see a lot of the younger guys also get some run. Jacurri Brown had one of those jerseys that say no contact. Joe Trader did get some run as a wide receiver, where Jacoby George would be. He was pretty good. He had one play that I thought if he would have caught that ball, would have gone the distance. He was mugged, I believe it was in the 3rd or 4th quarter. That should have been a penalty. Refs didn't call it, but JoJo Trader proved that he can hang, with the big boys in college football. Now, Carr had a couple catches. I was very thrilled. Excuse me, guys. I was very thrilled to see the tight ends get involved. That's the one position that everyone's complaining about this past offseason, that the Miami Hurricanes did not utilize the tight ends very well. And guess what? Riley Williams got some balls thrown to him, okay? Riley Williams had a hell of a catch of a pass thrown to by Reese Poffenbarger. He received some passes as well from Cam Ward. At least attended to him as well. Elijah Rowe had a couple throws to him. Another thing I did like too is I like the fact that our running backs were being used in the passing game as well. We saw Trevante Citizen get some run. We saw Elijah Lofton get some run at running back. He had a catch in the game in which it was a shuffle pass by Cam Ward. It was not a dangerous shuffle pass. It was a very well-calculated shuffle pass in which Cam Ward was in trouble by the defensive line. He found the open man, flicks it to Elijah Lofton. Elijah Lofton was able to make something out of it as well. So that's what I liked about what I saw. Cam Ward is the real deal as well. A magnificent leader. You've seen the still shots online if you're looking of him sitting down on the bench with his wide receivers, talking to coaches, very personable as well after the game. I spoke with the media. I believe also spoke with some fans as well that were able to give some access to him. It was a magnificent atmosphere as far as that goes. On the defensive side of the ball, in the first half, the defense had 3 sacks and 1 forced fumble as well. In the second half, I believe they had 2 and had a fumble and another fumble as well. Marquise Lightfoot is going to be a stud. All right. Marquise Lightfoot had about 3 sacks and a forced fumble in the game. Ruben Bain was Ruben Bain. We saw Wesley Vissaint getting on some action in the passing game as well. Bobo Aguirre played very well positioned to make plays as well. Remember the first half, they're hitting each other, except the quarterback. The quarterback doesn't receive much contact. In the second half, that's when you get more thudding and so on. So the audience, the crowd, I think disperses itself a little bit more, in which they either left or went to get something to eat. During the second half, you had an accelerated clock as well. Very short halftime at 5 minutes. But the defense itself, to me, now I will say this, because but Cam got this and Jacoury got that. That's true, and I was impressed with the offense. But I will say this, a lot of plays came from during 4th down situations. Those are 4th down situations that normally teams would punt in. So the team did put the offense in punting situations, but it's a spring game. Let's let it roll. Let's try to make some plays, and they did. Okay, to the offense's credit, they were able to make something out of having the extra down. Borregales, of course, looked very good, kicking the ball up the uprights, looked very good as well. Very good showing overall. Again, they were a bit limited. You didn't see Hakeem Mesidor. You're still missing Justin Scott. You're still missing Artavius Jones, who have not come in yet because, they just can't come in as well. This defensive line in general is not completely stacked, but with Cole McConaughey, Marquise Lightfoot, Booker Pickett coming in, then you have, of course, Ruben Bain, Jaden Wayne as well. You'd have Malik Bryan playing the edge. Cam Bobby Pruitt, who was in the game as well, was very good in the game as well, is also going to use in blitz packages. The defensive line of the Miami Hurricanes, that front 7 as well, or front 6, depending if they're playing a 3-3-5, is going to be absolutely insane. Okay, it's going to be insane. I'm curious to see how these freshmen also get into the game as well. Even though they're coming into the summer, I do think they will make a case, at least in the middle of the season, on defense. I will say that. The Hurricanes are in good shape. I know I'm hyping myself up. It's just a spring game, but I like what I saw different from last year. I like what I saw in the leadership of Cam Ward. I like what I saw in the fact that he's a dual threat quarterback, that if plays break down, he will use his legs and be very effective doing so. I do like the fact that he has a good relationship already with several of his receivers. Isaiah Horton we've seen the development of him as well. I am very confident in the backup quarterback room as well. All right. I am confident in Jacoury. I am confident in Emory Williams as well. Reese Poffenbarger, I've heard he's done well at practice. I do think that I am confident in the quarterback room, bar none. All right, bar none. And whether we do or do not get a wide receiver in the transfer portal, I like what we have right now on the roster. I think we could win with it as well. I think we could win with it because, I mean, from what I saw, the team is good. Now, I will say this, though, as well. Defensively speaking, I know there's a lot said about the secondary. I do think the secondary held its own in their coverages. There are a few overthrown balls, and I do believe that one of the reasons why those balls were overthrown were because the coverage was so good. Either the receiver catches it or no one catches it. So that's really the position that we were in. Mish Powell, of course, played very well in that game in coverage. So we'll see. I do think we do need maybe a corner for depth, as far as transport goes, and maybe addition of another safety just for depth purposes. But I am confident in the secondary with the defensive line, the way it played. If they're able to harass the quarterback the way they harassed the quarterbacks in the spring game, all four of them, I do think we're in good shape because if the defensive line can get pressure, it just makes the secondary look a hell of a lot better. Okay, as well. Now, before I wrap it up, I do want to say a couple things. There was a lot. I will say this. I hope next year they go back to maybe something like the Hard Rock or Chase Stadium because I do want the entire fan base to be able to have access to see the game. I went to spring game because my cousin was able to score some tickets from a friend. I will say this to defend the university's actions in terms of having a Cobb Stadium, the closeness of the players, the closeness of the coaching staff, it was nice to see. It was a nice treat for the fans. I got to see up close Coach Mark Riggs. I got to see Coach Ed Orgeron up close as well. I got to shake hands with Big Joe, Coach Salavea, so did my cousin as well. I got to meet a couple of players. I got to shake hands with Ray Joseph. I got to meet Marquise Lightfoot. By the way, what a nice young man. I said hi to him while he was talking. I think some friends. He went out of his way to say hi to me and my cousin. That was a very good thing as well. I was able to meet members of the media as well, both also in the Uverse, but also at the spring game as well. So it was nice. I will say, if you're a fan, if you get season tickets or you're part of the student body that was able to go, yeah, it was a treat for you. Right? It was a very good treat for you because it was much more access to the players than you would if you were playing in a major college stadium. So I will say that I do hope for the rest of the fan base they do open it up next year. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it wasn't bad being at Cobb Stadium. So just to let you guys know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you heard, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports Now. I may have a live episode this week. I'm not sure yet, but please pay attention to your Twitter accounts or X accounts, whatever, and maybe posting something real soon. Guys, have a wonderful day. Stay safe. God bless you soon. Remember, in the end, it's all about you guys. Bye-bye.